Spoiler alert, if you have not seen the newest episode of Arrow as I'm recording and uploading this video, Arrow Season 8, Episode 3, Leap of Faith, do not watch this video. I discuss a very heavy spoiler at the end of that episode, so like I said, if you haven't seen that episode, do not watch this video. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another video for you guys. Today I'm going to be discussing the potential upcoming Arrow spin-off show, Green Arrow and the Canaries, and why I am for and also against this show. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I'm for this show and 3 reasons why I am against this show. And at the end of the video, I'm curious to know, what do you think of my reasonings? How do you feel about this upcoming potential spin-off show? And also list me some of your thoughts, whether it's for or against the show, in the comments below. I'm curious to read them. Okay guys, let's get into it. Let's start off with the first reason why I am for this show, which is of course Laurel Lance. I am so happy that she is continuing in this show, and the fact that she's actually a co-lead in this show. Like, she's not going to be a side character. We get to see her develop more, and I just love the fact they're continuing with her. I've always said this, and I will continue to say it forever to the heavens, that one of the worst decisions ever made in the Arrowverse was killing off Laurel Lance from Earth 1 during Season 4 of Arrow. It's one of the worst things they've ever done, and I'm like, I can't believe they fucked up so bad, in my personal opinion. But then they brought in Earth 2 Laurel, and over time, it took some time, we were able to bring her to the light, especially in Season 7 when she finally turned a corner. And then she was given the original Black Canary outfit, then of course was showcased in the future in that same episode when she saved Mia. Such a great moment. And I just can't wait to see her potentially grow more if the show does get picked up, which I'm hoping in this instance it does for this reason. And a few more I'll list here. So anyways guys, let's get to the first reason why I am against this show. The first reason why I'm against this show is unfortunately the title of the show, Green Arrow and the Canaries. Now, I wouldn't have an issue if this was Oliver Queen along with Laurel Lance and Dinah Drake, but in this instance, it's not. The reason why it really bothers me is because Stephen Amell, as Oliver Queen, has been busting his ass on this show, and they never gave him. They gave him his name in the show, Green Arrow, but the title of the show was always Arrow. But yet, when you look at other heroes that got their own show, Barry Allen, The Flash, Kara, Supergirl. I didn't understand the whole thing to where they never thought, maybe at a certain point, once he becomes the Green Arrow in the show, we change the title of the show. They never did it. Now, I know that's crazy to ask because traditionally, shows don't just change their name in the middle of it still airing. They don't just change the name. It's just not normal. But for us fans of the show, and understandable, he's not the Green Arrow in the comics. It's a different interpretation they went with for the show. But when he became Green Arrow, they should have just changed it because everyone else has their freaking name in the title. Why not him? That's one of the things I just don't like. One more thing I'll add onto this, then we'll move on, is that it's Oliver Queen. He's the Green Arrow. Understandable. Mia is his daughter, but it's not the same. She should have her own title. It shouldn't be taking the mantle of Green Arrow because Green Arrow is Oliver Queen. That's it. So she should have a different mantle entirely. They need to change the title of it to something else. She needs to take on another name. I don't know what it is or what it could be, but Green Arrow, it's Oliver Queen. It's not his daughter. The second reason I am for this show is other characters from Arrow that were introduced on Arrow could possibly pop up in this show. Their stories could continue. Now, I know it's a long shot because timeline-wise, we're hearing different things about possibly the timeline is going to be present and future Star City 2040 or only Star City 2040. I'm not really sure, but the potential of other characters that were introduced on Arrow and other shows as well, sure in the Arrowverse, could pop up. But more specifically, characters that were introduced on Arrow have a chance to pop up here, and to see their stories continue, whether it's present or future, we're not really sure. We're still trying to find out confirmation officially where the timeline is on this show, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they go about it, because we'll be introduced, of course, new characters that have not been introduced previously, but I kind of want to see some other characters that were introduced on Arrow return at some point on this potential show if it gets picked up. The second reason I am against this show is, unfortunately, Mia Smoke. It has nothing to do with her lineage. It has nothing to do with her being Felicity's daughter. My concern is that she hasn't been really developed, like hardly. All we've really seen her do is be a badass, do a bunch of fight scenes, and get really angry all the time. I feel like there's more to her. Now, there is one particular instance in the newest episode of Arrow as I'm recording and uploading this video, Leap of Faith, where she opens up a little bit to William and saying, "You're the only family I have left," which, that was changed at the end of the episode, but that little moment where she opened up and actually showed her emotion a little bit besides angry, I'm like, okay, this is a little bit different. And I feel like they need to do that more. We need to open her up. We need to kind of calm her down in a sense, because she's basically like Oliver was in season 1, where he's really, really angry when he goes out there fighting. But Mia's always like that, 24/7. Oliver had a filter. He was able to kind of mask it and kind of be just Oliver and not the Hood or the Vigilante or whatever. But in this sense of Mia, she's constantly like that, 24/7. They need to develop her more. We need to give her more screen time. So hopefully with this potential spinoff and maybe the rest of season 8, because of the ending, because the big what the fuck moment, we'll probably actually see more development, which we desperately need that for her character, or else this show will not work. I want to add one more thing. This is where the spoilers come in. So spoilers, if you haven't seen the newest episode of Arrow as I'm recording this video, Season 8, Episode 3, Leap of Faith, go away now. Spoilers are coming. At the end of that episode, Mia, 2040, Star City Mia, and Oliver, 2019, come face to face in the bunker. And it is assumed for the rest of this season, for the most part, up to Crisis, is they're going to be together, working together, and getting to know each other, in a sense. Now, this will probably develop Mia a lot more. That's my assumption, because she never met him. Only as a baby, but that doesn't count, because she doesn't remember. So I think this will actually help her to go into a different direction. And this might kind of help with my issue with the fact her taking the mantle Green Arrow, because now she actually has met him and is taking his mantle instead of just taking it because that's her dad. She's actually met him. I'm curious where we go from that, but could possibly help her for the future. The third and final reason why I'm for this show that I'll cover in this video is Laurel and Dinah's relationship. Now, it's been a rocky road with these two, as we know with season 6 especially, holy crap. But slowly over time, they've gotten to be able to talk and not argue, in a sense, because whenever they used to try to talk in the past, holy crap, it turned into arguments, and they just, yeah, it's not good, toxic, they had to get away from each other. But I'm curious to see where we go from here in terms of them announcing that Mia, Laurel, and Dinah, they're all 3 leads in this potential show, which means Laurel and Dinah are going to be spending a lot of time together. So I'm curious to see where that builds to, where if it's going to build to just a co-worker relationship, or if it's going to build past that to where they consider themselves each other's sisters, and they're going to be that bond. I'm not really sure, but since it's Canaries and not Canary, I have a feeling it's going to go in the direction of where they're going to consider themselves sisters and best friends and all that kind of stuff, but it will take time. That's what I think they're going to do. But I'm curious to see how that relationship evolves over time. My third and final reason why I'm against this show is unfortunately the Flashforwards. Now, as you know, I'm not a fan of these at all. I was at first when they first introduced them, but then over time in season 7, they deteriorated and went to just crap. I really don't care. I just want to get back to the present day shit with Oliver. But the thing is, with them posting about them filming the backdoor pilot for this show, the hashtag's been used. Hashtag Star City 2040. Which tells me either the whole entire concept of the show is flash forward in 2040 in Star City, or it's just a part of it. That has me worried. Whether it's 100% the show or part of it, it has me worried, because what they've kind of showed so far, besides revealing that Roy was in the future, like his whole role for the most part in season 7 was in the future in the flash forwards, besides that, the flash forwards, the storylines have been just meh. They haven't been that great. And maybe it's because they spent so much time focusing on the storyline in the present and just kind of throwing stuff for the characters to do in the future. Okay, maybe. But in order for this show to work, whether it's 100% the show or a little bit or whatever the case may be, dividing screen time, if the flash forwards are going to be a thing in this show, they have to be important. They have to actually make the audience member, me, and others actually care. You can't divide the audience, because it seems for a lot of people who's watching Arrow Season 8, they can't wait for the flash forwards. They'll skip through them, or they'll just not even pay attention. You gotta make it matter. And if people don't care about the flash forwards, and that's a main thing, or all of the show is set in the future, the show is not gonna work for the most part. It's gonna drop off rapidly on viewership. So you gotta make it interesting. So there you have it, guys, my 3 reasons why I'm for and my 3 reasons why I am against this show. I'm curious to know, what do you guys think of my reasonings? Do you agree or disagree with my reasonings for or against? Let me know in the comment section below, and also tell me as well some of your concerns or things you are excited about potentially to see in this show. Let me know those as well in the comment section below, guys. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.